Hi everyone, my name is Holly. Today's video is going to be on dissociative amnesia. Amnesia involves forgetfulness, severe forgetfulness, which goes beyond the everyday forgetfulness that's observed in normal people. Amnesia is one of the essential criteria for DID as stated in the DSM-5. The DSM-5 says that there must be recurrent gaps in recall of everyday events, important personal information, and/or traumatic events that are inconsistent with ordinary forgetting. This means that it must be more severe than what you would experience, what a normal person would experience on a day-to-day basis. The degrees of amnesia for traumatic memories can range from a lack of personalization to complete amnesia. In DID, each personality state may have differing access in terms of memory, and this results in a state-dependent inability to recall important personal information. The three types of amnesia that I'm going to take you through are localized amnesia, selective amnesia, and microamnesia. I'm also going to touch upon something called dissociative fugue. Localized amnesia describes the inability to recall a specific event or events or a specific period of time. This may be a total chunk of time. It's completely gone. This can range anywhere from hours to days, months, or even years, and it may actually set in after the fact. Selective amnesia describes forgetting only some of the events that occurred during a period of time or only part of a traumatic event. An example of this may be if somebody is in a bank that's being robbed, they're being held at gunpoint, they may remember going into the bank but completely forget what happened during the robbery. This is selective amnesia. Microamnesia describes forgetting the content of an important discussion or conversation that you have just engaged in and you have fully engaged in. This happens to us quite a lot. Usually if we have an argument with someone or an important conversation, we will not remember the specific details of it. We'll know that we had the conversation, that we had the argument, but we won't remember why or what it was about. Maybe a general sense of what it was about, but we will usually forget the specifics of it, which can actually lead to a lot of problems in our personal relationships because we don't remember a lot of our conversations. And the final thing that we're going to touch upon is dissociative fugue. This is actually quite an uncommon phenomenon, apparently, that occurs in dissociative amnesia. It often manifests as sudden, unexpected, and purposeful travel away from home. So dissociative fugue is all to do with travel. You may wake up somewhere and not know how you got there or where you are, and that is because you've experienced dissociative fugue. There has actually been some cases of somebody waking up from dissociative fugue months after they've gone missing, and they have a new job, a new name, they may be in a different city, they have a whole new life, and then they wake up and they have no idea where they are or what's happened. Another thing that we wanted to touch upon is the idea of having greyouts. Usually in amnesia, the term that's thrown around is blackouts, where you completely forget everything that's happened. What's usually more common in dissociative amnesia is this idea of greyouts, where you can't remember everything, but you maybe have a general sense of what's just gone on. And there's actually a lot of recorded examples of this. One specific one is highway hypnosis. You may have experienced this when you're just driving down a road, you've gone a stretch of a few miles, maybe you've just gotten home and you don't remember the drive, but obviously you've driven, and you've driven well because you're home, safe, I hope. This is highway hypnosis, and it's an example of a grey out, where you know what's happened, but you don't remember the details. It is also important to know that alters or people with DID, different parts, may only be partly or even completely unaware that they have these gaps in their memory, and it only becomes apparent to them when it's been pointed out, maybe through therapy, you know, getting the memories back, or maybe through a discussion with someone where they've brought up something that happened and you're like, oh, I don't remember that happening. I don't remember that at all. And it becomes clear that there's a gap there in the memory. That's actually how we found out a lot of our amnesia, was people bringing up different stories, events that have happened in the past, and we've been sitting there just not knowing what they're talking about, and that can be really unsettling. In dissociative amnesia, you may also have amnesia to a specific person or something in a specific category, like family. That is also possible. That's actually called systematized amnesia, and it might be more common in situations where a specific person has partaken in a traumatic event that you have experienced. It is also important to note that this dissociative amnesia even goes as far as creating amnesia between the different parts. So between different alters, there is these amnesic barriers that stops other people in the system from knowing what they've been doing, and this can lead to a lot of the memory gaps that you experience in DID. These amnesic barriers can often be brought down by just learning to have good communication, and it can lead to a state of co-consciousness where other alters are aware of what's going on in the body. I know that the amnesia that's experienced in DID and OSDD can be really unsettling. The idea of knowing that there are gaps in your memory, in your life, that you don't know what's occurred. It's quite a frightening concept, but it can be overcome. You can work with it. One way that we do it is we keep a diary, a planner, and we write down everything. Where we have to be, what time we have to be there, and we have a journal where we write down what's happened during the day, so that if anybody needs a refresher course, they can go back and read it, and that works for us. So those are just some tips for you guys if you want to use those. Also, I recommend sticky notes. If there's something important that needs done, put it on a sticky note, because we have bad memory at the best of time. We suffer from a lot of ordinary forgetfulness, out of sight, out of mind. So if we put on sticky notes at eye level, it's in sight, in mind, you would think. Thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate you clicking on this and taking a look. If you want to check out any of our other videos, just head on over to our channel, and we also have some recommended channels from other DID YouTubers. As usual, all our references will be down in the description below. Have a wonderful day, and thank you.